Okay, I'm starting. Hello to you all. I feel privileged to be presenting this webinar today. My name is Engineer Idu Ofiku, a civil engineer. I am a gold partner of ProtaStructure in Nigeria and a licensed user of ProtaStructure Suite 2022. You can contact me through this email, idu.ofiku@protasoftware.com for discount and flexible payment options for valid license of ProtaStructure or for other support inquiries. Please, you may leave your questions in the chat box. I will attempt to answer as much as possible at the end of my presentation. This presentation shall cover the following: about ProtaStructure 2022, design brief, practical demonstration, conclusion, and question and answers session. About ProtaStructure. Here, I want to briefly summarize some of the milestones of ProtaStructure's journey throughout the years. In 1992, Prota launched Probina Orion, which is the world's first concrete building design and detailing system. In 2005, Probina Orion provided first building solution for retrofit and rehabilitation. 2007, Prota invested in BIM technology and launched ProtaBeam, which provides bidirectional physical model integration with Autodesk Revit. In 2014, ProtaStructure introduced the revolutionary ProtaStructure. In 2015, Prota engineering team delivered the design of an entire metro line with BIM. In 2018, Prota engineering team delivered the world's largest passenger terminal building. Structural design delivered with ProtaStructure Suite. Structural engineers, what do? We do BIM modeling, do analysis, perform design, create detailed drawings, and we create fabrication and constructible information. We also coordinate and share project information with other stakeholders and software through BIM. One of our core advantages of ProtaStructure Suite over any other software is that the software offers all necessary features in a single suite: a software for streamlined modeling and analysis, a software for designing your steel connections, concrete beams, core walls, foundation, and more, a CAD software for dedicated structural drafting and producing all your engineering drawings, with component design for other project elements like retaining walls, a fabrication software for producing all your construction and shop details, a BIM software for communicating all of this to other project teams. Okay, design brief. In today's design, we shall be modeling portal frame structure, which is covering about 1,200 square meter, 25 meters by 48 meters. The design code we are going to be using is BS 5950 Part 1. The floor area I've said that already. The total dead loads of claddings, 0.40 kilonewton per meter square. In terms of loading, the unit weight of materials is always advised to be obtained from manufacturer's data where possible, but the following can be assumed, which summed up to this value, 0.40. You can look at the aluminum sheeting, the insulation, the service load, and then your imposed load, our imposed load, is recommended that when the slope is less than 30 degree, it should be, and there's no major access. That's where no access other than cleaning and maintenance is provided. We can use 0.6 kilonewton per meter square. Height of eave is 7 meters from finished floor level. Span of frame 25 meters. Total length of workshop 48 meters. Spacing of frames 6 meters. Pitch. The pitch is 6 degrees. When you convert it to the right, is about 1.31 meter. Concrete pedestal 0.2, which is flushing with the finished level. This is to add as pedestal to the columns, steel columns, where the connection at the end will be done. Then the mezzanine floor, which is supposed to provide office space, more or less, as is common, is 12 meters by 10 meters, then at the level of 6 meters. So now let's see. Now let us explore some of the revolutionary capabilities of ProtaSteel 2022. We are going to be switching to ProtaStructure 2022. I want you to know, because of the limitation of time, we might not go so much into some details. However, you can always find more tutorials on each of these topics, on subtopic or even the steps in the YouTube provided by ProtaStructure or from their learning resources. Okay, so we are going to switch. Step one, we just launch the ProtaStructure 2022 and then start a new project. So we are going to switch to ProtaStructure 2022. Just like a brief, when you open the interface, the first thing you see, most likely you are going to see the start page. And I will advise you, if you are licensed, you will see that your ID number will be there. This will provide your license information, the subscription. Then you will also see the up-to-date. And I want to encourage everybody to go to the website, protasoftware.com, to update, or you can even click update from the help file too. You can as well go to check update, and then you begin to update. Then here you have information on the learning resources, new videos, and then this gives you information on recent projects. Now, I want to assume that you will be able to go to find more information on this interface from the YouTube page. Okay, now when you open a ProtaStructure and you have to start a project, you first of all save your project, just name your project, start a project. The next step from the modeling ribbon, because I want us to go straight away. We have a lot to cover, so I won't go too deep into some subjects. But like I told you earlier, you can find them in the learning resources or on the YouTube. Okay, so when you open from the modeling tab, you have different ribbons. You have the building setout, the modeling, the loading, review, analysis, design, drawing and report, BIM, display, views, and help. Within the scope of our tutorial, I will not be able to go and begin to talk about this now. You can still find all this on the learning resources provided. Okay, now from the modeling tab, the first thing you do is to click this, come anywhere here and click. You can now make this to be, that's your orthogonal axis generation, because we need to create the grid lines, the axis, based on what was described in the brief. So the next thing we'll do here, this, remember in the brief we say is 25 meters by 48 meters. So we are going to, on this axis, we are going to do this into 5 places. 25 divided by 5 into equal parts. Then here we have 6 meters. You also saw that the framing spacing is 6 meters. Then we'll click OK. And with this, let's undo that and go all over again. We have this, I say into 5 place, 5. Then this, to be able to give us 48, we have to have multiplied by 8 to give us 48 meters. So we click OK, and this is what we are going to be having. Then the next thing we'll do, we'll go to the building setup to define our story parameters. Based on the brief, we are going to insert the levels for the concrete pedestal. We'll also insert the level for mezzanine floor and height of eave. So here, you can either right click here to press insert, or you can go to story operation to press insert. For a detailed explanation on this, please make reference to the YouTube tutorial provided by ProtaSoftware or ProtaStructure on YouTube and through other learning resources. So we are going to give 7 here. Go to 7 and we'll create intermediate story. Okay, this is 7 meters, which we can always adjust. So let's go and 7. Seven meters. Let's click 3 stories. We'll go back to adjust. We'll go right click on our story, edit. Then we'll come here, we'll say from the design brief, this is only supposed to be 200. Then the next one is 3 meters, the mezzanine floor, and then our eave is 7 meters. For clarity, we can describe this here: pedestal, concrete pedestal. Then we have our mezzanine floor, and then we have what eave. Simply put, eave height or eave level, any way you want to describe it. Then here, the structural system, we will make it a steel. Here, what we have here is concrete. Here, it will be steel. Concrete because the pedestal is concrete. Okay, then here we can define, this may also be determined based on the geotechnical survey, and recommendation. Here we are going to put this at 1.2 meters. Please, these are purely engineering decision, which is up to you. ProtaStructure is a tool. It is how you use it. If you use it wrongly, you might not get the correct thing. So always ensure that all your assumptions are based on engineering considerations. Okay, so here you can see we have the eave height, we have the mezzanine, we have the pedestal, and then I want to deactivate with the newest ProtaStructure ProtaStructure 2022, you have this automatic, which you can choose to turn off. So, but I'll leave it there. You can see our framing spacing, 6 meters. And then this way we have the total to be 25 meters and 5 at spacing of 5 meters. Okay. So I'm going to come to the review tab and deactivate is my choice. You can choose to do that also to deactivate the axis, which you can always bring back the grids, the default grid lines. Okay, so after doing this now, the next thing we are going to do, based on the brief, we are going to now start modeling the elements, the structural elements. We are going to start with the columns, the main columns, because from Prota frame analysis, design consideration, the forces guiding this design will be your bending plus axial. So because of that, we are going to be using a deeper section, a UB, a universal beam. So the first thing you do is to come to modeling tab, go to steel members, click, and here, yes, there are preliminary sizings that you can do. There are literatures guiding this, which you can work out. You can do preliminary sizing, but with ProtaStructure, you may not even need to break your head on that because whatever we are doing now is just preliminary. It's not the final. If the design does not work, you can always optimize, review design. I'm going to choose Malaysia. Please, before you do this in the real world, always ensure that in your market you have what is available. Don't go and design what is not available in your locality. Okay, so based on the assumption which are already predetermined, I'm going to choose, you can select UB, we'll go to the universal beam, and I've given you the reason why I'm choosing this universal beam, because bending is a major force we are going to, or effect, or action we are going to consider in the course of our design. So I'll choose this, and then this is from here to here. You can either see and also or do this and do this. Mind you, so this is what we have. And if you want to be sure of what you're having, this is what we have. You can as well deactivate this by going to the review. I want to deactivate. Okay, so let me put the axis down. So this is what we have. Okay, we'll continue. And then like the next thing is to define our rafter, which is the beam. So mind you, our apex will be at the midpoint. Because of that, we need to define an axis here. If you like, you can use a construction line, but let's just define an axis for the sole purpose of inserting this beam. Even though it's not G, I don't have time to start readjusting this. Okay, now, the next thing is to go to the modeling tab, click your beam. You also go to the UB again. Let's use Malaysia. And then based on my predetermined size, I am going to select this 450, and then I'll click OK here. And the next thing I'll do, mind you, the apex is at 1.31. Remember, 1,300, sorry, 1,310 millimeter at 6 degrees. So that's the rise. So we are going to, from here to the midpoint. Okay. So we can do this. Just quite simple. You can do just repetition. Even if anyone is not all right, you can easily go back to readjust. You can always go back, or let me demonstrate another thing. So now we can see we have the first rafter. The next thing now is the second rafter. We don't have to start all over. So because of that, we can easily just copy the whole of this and do what? And mirror. Now, in the latest update, when you select this, you can actually right click and filter it because we don't want the columns. We want only the beam. So we'll come here and deselect the columns and click OK. Then the next thing we'll mirror using the axis is either you leave the beam this here to show that it's still an extension of the previous label, but I'll choose to remove it. Please, for detailed explanation on how to go about your axis creation, there are other webinar, other learning resources on this. Because if I start that, we may not be able to cover the scope of our discourse today. Okay, so when you see this, already you are good to go. Now, there's something I didn't do earlier. This, if you look at this, this is not up to the last floor, and it's not supposed to be so. It's not starting from the ground floor, from the pedestal. So what we are going to do is to select all of this, right click again, do your filter, select, deselect a beam, and then leaving only columns. And we just right click, go to properties, so that we can change this to what? The length of the story. Please, you always get other resources that can explain what all this means. This means that it's going through more than one story. Okay, so when we do this now, we're almost there. You know, this is our finished floor level, and that is the level of the pedestal. Okay, now we are done with our rafters and then the column frames. The next thing we go to is to define our pedestal. Now you can see our columns are not visible here. In order to be very sure we are doing the right thing, we have to go to review and select column display transfer so that it will show at this level. Okay, so here now we are going to go to our concrete section, go to column. From here, looking at the size that I have, the preliminary size, I'm having 500 by 300. So I'm going to start with a preliminary size of this 500, let me say 800. The side of 300, I'm going to, I'm going to define it as 600, then 800. So we have this. And just know that these are not final. You can always adjust this with the help of ProtaStructure. You can always do it within a short time. Always review. ProtaStructure gives you the opportunity to review without any hassle. So this is what we have. It's coming up. The next task is our mezzanine floor. Okay, so we go to the mezzanine floor. This one is just more or less like an abstract. So based on whatever design you have, you can always uh, define your mezzanine floor based on the architectural consideration. Most times they also have staircase, which I will not be able to do now because of the limited time. Okay, the next thing now is to go back to our steel column to define the steel. Our mezzanine floor, which are already predetermined, we are going to use a UB 250 by 250. So we click on this UB 250 by 250. You can try at a convenient time, you can try. And then whatever it gives you, you can always adjust your. So coming here, the direction of the main direction is in this direction. So I'm going to put one here. I'll put another one here. Mind you, is 12 meters by 10 meters. From here to here is 12 meters. Here to here is 10 meters. Okay. Now our gable 2, let's go back to our eave level. When I say eave level, I know you know what I'm talking about now. So let's define the columns at this edge, or this edge. So we can start with the property there and then change it to what I've already predetermined also. I'm going to choose 300 by 200. I keep using predetermined because of the limit of time we have, we will not be able to do so many trial and errors. So I'll come here, I can put here, and then here. I also go to this side, do this here too, and then okay, you are seeing that this sign here is showing that what you have here is cantilevered. I don't think it should be much of an issue, but in order to be sure, you can see select this. The only way of taking it out, go to your filter selection, remove this, go to this, then right click. When you right click, you go to update your end and ensure that both ends are supported, and it will disappear. Okay, so now we have to visit our 3D. From what we have, this is not exactly up to this with the capabilities that ProtaStructure has provided. You don't really need to do much. All you need to do here, just click on this column, extend it. It will just extend. Click on this, extend, select the beam, select the column. You can even select multiple along the axis and extend. Select the beam or the member where you want to extend it to. This is what one of the many capability that ProtaStructure offers. Okay, so you have this. Select this, click, select, click, select, extend. Just to be sure. Okay, so go back. Sorry, we might be going between floors to floor. Before we go back to our mezzanine floor, we need to define to add the eave beam here to provide extra support to the frame. Okay, so what we'll do now, we'll go to the beam. I've also predetermined this. I'm going to choose, even though I say predetermined, doesn't mean everything will pass straight through. So I'm going to choose 200 by 150, and then this will offer more restraints to, 150 by 75. Let me change it. You'll be, click here, 150, 75, then 14, 150 universal beam. Then all you need to do, and click here, just come here, just do a window, and yes, do the same thing, similar thing here. Yes, and we are good to go. So the next thing we are going to, we'll go to our mezzanine floor to define all this. Now, you can see that this is not so highlighted. This is because the column doesn't start here and is not ending here. So this will show you that this column is coming from above. But for this one, which is at this level, you can see that it's clearly highlighted. So here, the next thing we are going to do is to define the flooring here. So we click our beam, select, and then predetermine to, we'll go to 200, 250, 67, 200, go to 200, 150, 30. Okay. Now, there's something I didn't do just now, which I'm going to, is intentional because I need to explain. Now, when you come here, because this is not from this level, if we do, you can see insertion, column point, this will take us to another level. So we have to ensure we have the axis intersection. But there's no problem. Even if it takes you up, you can easily just adjust it. So in this direction, I'll do this. In this direction too, axis. This one, let me do it one by one to be sure. Okay, I'm going to use the same thing along this line, but because along this line, we have to release the moment. So we'll come here, meaning the two ends have to be hinged. So we are going to release the moment by, when you click here, you can release at the beginning or at the end, but in this case, at both ends. So we'll come here, intersection, and we'll click. Do the same thing here, intersection, we'll click. Intersection. Let me even do. Okay. So the next thing we are going to do is just to frame, provide other beams. So what we'll do, we can take from here to here, other secondary beams. We can maybe come to the middle. This is all down to your own design consideration. You can see they are all free, because all secondary beams, you will need to release all of them. And see, so release the moment, they have to be hinged. All secondary beams on a primary beams. It's telling me something which I am going to confirm. That may also be good for a robust understanding. Okay, this one, just know that every member we are using now is preliminary. So even if it's too big, in the course of your optimization, you can still change all this. So I'm going to leave this like this. Let's see what is talking. You see? So this is a problem, but it's not a problem. All you need to do, let's go select all these. Let's even select all the beams. Right click, because we want everything to be at that level. So just select, we will not select axis. We are only interested in the beams. Then all we need to do, properties, we'll go here. You see, has given us all this. So we'll go to delta Z left. That's the elevation. Change it to 0. Select these two. Please, you have other resources that can show you how to do all this. Okay, so we can also go to our if. Now, let's select this. You hold down the control key to do the next selection. So I am going to go to axis level. We can go there straight, or you do your filter, go to beam table. So from this your beam table, we have to change this to 0.2. So it's not a problem. Even in the course of your modeling, something is wrong. You know, because it's not in the major axis line, I'm supposed to hinge both, but I didn't do it. I actually forgot. But you can always get back to this to change. That is how flexible ProtaStructure can be, just to ensure that at every stage you can still make a U-turn, make a correction. So you see that our frame is coming up. Oh, we need to define this too. So for sake of time, let's go to the pedestal level again. Then here we have something smaller. So let's use the dimension here is this 300 by 200. Let's do 400 by 400, or we'll do 600. Like I told you, still, it's not the final bus stop, because during the course of your design, you can still choose to edit all this to ensure you have a very economic but a very safe design. Okay, very effective design. So what we can do now for this one, we can go to this member. This size is what, 200 by. So let's even do, this is 250 by. So let's even do a 400 for this one, or we can still use the same size, which you can edit afterward. You can click or window. Okay. Okay. So this is what we have. We have done with the main framing. The next thing we are going to define now. Before we go further, we are going to demonstrate how you can insert steel trusses. So there are other resources that can explain this in more details. So for the sake of this, I'm going to come back to this. Let's remove this. And then how do you define your trusses? We have to go to that level. And then, oh, it's very simple. Just click on truss, select your column, your axis. When you do this, your truss generator will come out. And from there, you have different shape. Any shape you want. You can select from here, adjust the parameters. You can change the support, like, for instance, changing it to top chord. Whatever it is, you can also import from AutoCAD your own type of design, specify the splices, and also change the members. There are so many resources on the YouTube. You can see what we have here. So this can easily give us here, assuming we change this to top chord. Let's see what it will give to us. You can see. So you can always adjust this to whatever shape without stress. You don't need to start doing any major. They're out there for you. But even if you don't like any of this, you can also do your own, even from the scratch. User defined. We'll open this for you, and you can begin to edit to get your own shape. So, but I don't want to take all the time here because we don't have the time. The next one is the frame element, which can also help you to define your general element, your vertical brace, horizontal purline, gates, or even trusses. So with this, you can do your play around. This is a straight element. If you like, you can change this to 90-degree, create, make it, let's say, 1,500. You update to give you a curve. Okay, just to be pronounced. Let me make it 3,000, 6,000, so that we can appreciate. So you can see, and not just that, even this, assuming you have some limitation of some complexity from your architect or architectural drawings configuration, you can always adjust it based to fit in. So you can play around with this. You can see. So this helps you. No matter the shape you want, you can also release your moment here. And not just that, you can, this is 90, let's say 90. If you have 0, that will give you a horizontal, you see, frame. You can see what we have. So, and not just that, from your 3D here, you can also adjust the offset, the analytical offset, which, assuming we want to move this up by 500, you can always do that. Move it from the frame. You can always define any of this. You see, in order to meet whatever you have, and you, not just that, you can also define support for your frame element. A fixed support or whatever kind of support you may want to define. So you have all this flexibility. Now, it's not just this. Let me go back to show you another thing that I'm going to make this 0 back. Let me return it and show you other things. Please, there are also resources that can show you in detail. This is just a bonus. I just want to mention it to create awareness. It's not supposed to be part of this. Now, if you come here, I can choose to draw another element. Let's say I just draw this. Please, all these are abstracts just to demonstrate. And I just come here because my time is running. I mean, you have depending on whatever the architectural configuration may be, you can do. See, sorry, I'll have to delete this. When you are working in 3D, you have to be very careful so that you select the right axis. No. To save time, I'm not going to do so many other things. Hmm? You have a lot of tutorial. Please, this is abstract. I just want to demonstrate something. So now, if you select all this, you can also convert it to a truss system. You can see, so with ProtaStructure 2022, there's no limitation to the kind of truss you can. Yeah, if I come there now, right click, turn it to my top chord, this my bottom chord, and I select all this one to say, okay, let all this be my diagonal, and I come here, I say vertical. Please, this is not based on any engineering consideration. It's just to demonstrate. So if I click OK, you see I have a truss. I have a truss system now that will behave as truss, and you can change the members here. Come here to change to whatsoever section that you so choose. Even if I want the top and I come here. So this gives you a whole lot of flexibility. Please, we have to move on. The next thing I also create awareness is your steel dome, which you can actually just click. Let's save our drawing. Select. Let me close this. Let me come back here. Sometimes some issue do happen. Okay, so let's say I select between 2 points and I have the liberty to what? To do whatsoever I want to do with my dome. You can even make this 6 meters. Please, I don't want to spend so much time here. You can see. So with ProtaStructure Suite 2022 is no longer a challenge doing your still. There are also other learning resources on. You can see. This is just to demonstrate it. I'm really running out of time, so I don't want to spend more time. So we'll go back. Let's go back and go back to our class. So we have this. All you need to do, echo this. You can do this. It's not correct. You change it. I is what? No. So here is 0. Here is 1,310. Update. Okay. So the next thing, we want to put a door here. So we are going to, you can come to the mezzanine floor level. Just mezzanine. Do this. You don't have to, can release. You don't have to do this and put a door. But I want to put this door at, since it's a workshop, I want to put it at 1.5 above the mezzanine floor. This is strictly abstract. Yes. So I can cross check. You see, that's taking me up. So before I leave here, I can readjust it. 1,500. Sorry, 500. update. So, and we have something like this as our door. Okay. Mind you, the mezzanine floor is at 3 meters, so this will be at 4.5. Please, it's just abstract. So the next thing we are going to do is to install our frames. So our frames, which will add more restraint to resist wind load and whatever lateral loads you may have or effects, we are going to put at the two ends and then somewhere here. Please do it based on your own consideration, engineering consideration, and decision. Sometimes maybe the architectural consideration too. Okay, so to model your brace, you just come here, click, select two columns or beams. In this case, we have two columns. So we'll select. From here, you can make it two. You can make it multiple, as many, even if you want it to be 4. So, but I'm going to make it 2. But before then, I will advise you to select your member first, sort out equal angle. Let me choose this so that you don't have to start doing for each of them. Please, there are tutorials to show you. Here you can also change the type of the brace. You can even do a diagonal. With ProtaStructure 2022 is very flexible. So I am also going to offset here, just to drop it down. I'm going to offset this, let's say 400. Please, this 400. Then from the end, I'm going to do, let's say 200. 200. Just to move it a little bit away from the support. Now, we have to do, and then before I make this 2, so that whatever I've defined, for this one, the bottom for one, the bottom doesn't have to be 200. So we can do 0, 0. Then for 2, the top doesn't have to be 400, 400. Okay. So that we have, so I will use the same definition, the same to okay. Then for here, I'm going to change it to 0. The next one, 0, 0. I may not have time to start explaining all of this, but there are a lot of resources on ProtaSoftware's YouTube page. And if you are subscribed to, if you have a valid license, you also have access to some of this. So I also have here, I want to put 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me put here. Okay. Then let me go back here. Go back. This I can do to the 200. Fine. Okay. Okay, but up is That up is 400, right? 400 and 400, 400. This is 0. This is 0. Okay. So if we come to the second, okay. So we are good to go. And then we have the same thing here. Okay. I also want to go to the mezzanine floor. Let me go here. I want to provide some bracings here. Okay, so just the same thing again. Select one. Let me do this at the end. Let's say we can do this. Okay, let's see. No, sorry. Choose between here and here. Okay. Please just do this based on your own engineering consideration. I keep hammering on that. It's not always compulsory that you have any of this. If whatever you are designing satisfied. So let me also brace this, right? Modeling, we want to brace this, and this. So I'll make this just one. Let me just, this is just to demonstrate the capability. Okay, so I'm done with this. So the next thing I'm going to we are going to model is our purlines. So it's all very simple. We'll go back to our 3D, select the purline here. Now select the two rafters, the two extremes to take you here and define your section. I'm going to come here. I'm also going to choose 150. Let's say we choose 150. Let's say we choose this. And not just that, come here. And you can always do whatever you are doing here. The spacing, I'm going to do 200. Then, okay, here from my sag rod, the sag rod, I don't want hanger. I'll use, I don't want the reach. This, everything is shown here. Please, I still advise you. Then this one is staggered. I don't want it staggered. So you can leave this. Here you can do auto fit. You can even choose to use none. You so wish. Based on your own engineering consideration. Let me make this. You can review it. And if it's not what you want, you can still go back there and say, okay, this is not what we want. Maybe we want to move this 100. Let's see the behavior. No, it's too close. So let's leave 200. Take this 100. This is a beauty. You can always make your adjustment. And now that I have this, I don't need to, sorry. Now that I have this, I don't need to, I can use the same property here and just click OK. Then I'll go and define the side rails. All these provide restraint and extra support for the frames, especially the rafter against torsional buckling or torsional issues. So, or torsional effects. So now I'm going to do this just the same way, but this is vertical. So I'll select between here and here. If you have an opening, you can always, just the same way, you can always adjust it accordingly. The same way, the same thing we did. So I want to do the same thing we did for the polars too. The time is running very fast, but it's okay. From the bottom, 200, okay. Sag rod, we always have another opportunity to do so many other things. There are a lot of resources, a lot of educational resources if you subscribe. And if you are in Nigeria, like I told you, we are the country rep, you can always contact me through the email provided. Okay, so I'll do the same thing here. If your architectural configuration is different, please adjust it accordingly. Then the next thing here, because I have a door here, I only want to go all through. So I'll come here, then I'll select between here and here. Then from here to here now, because there's a door, instead of 200 from beginning, you might remember that level is 4,500. Maybe we can make it. So you can have this, just to provide this. So now, the next thing we are going to define is our cladding. And this cladding is what we receive the load and distribute on the purlines, so, or the side rails. So you don't need to start doing any form of analysis. ProtaStructure has done all that for you. So you just select it, click OK. Select, click OK, select, OK, select, OK. Here we select, we need to adjust this. So we'll go, when you see this boy here, we'll do 4,000. Let's say 4,400. This is cladding. There are also educational resources that will show you. All we are doing is application, modeling. So we also do this, select, okay, it's instructive, but it's good to say that we have to go back here and define our materials. Here, the grade of steel, whatever the grade is, based on your design consideration, you select it here. So I'm going to select 275, apply. So be sure so that when you are giving information out to the contractor or the fabricator, you give the right information. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do, we'll go to our loading. We have to come here and find our loading generator. So here we'll create different, because we have concrete, different combination for steel design. Here to go to national, the wind load, and even though when the ratio, the height to span ratio is not more than 0.5%, 0.5 ratio, and you don't have a too heavy dynamic load, you can always ignore the effects of the wind. But please, you have to verify that and be very sure that is also applicable. But in this case, you are still going to use it anyway, because with ProtaStructure is very easy. Okay, so the next thing is to go and define our load. So who will come here? Remember, we have from our design brief, we already have our load. So we'll come to the last floor, select this, and your loading editor will come up. You can choose to turn off all the other type of load because you are going to be dealing with only area load. So we will click area load, and then we'll come here, select G. Please, this is very important. But before we do that, let's determine the cladding, the roofing sheet, which is the cladding here. This is so in order to avoid, to ensure correct assignment, we are going to do this. We right click and filter. Then on your dead load, you define 0.4. I hope you have not forgotten. So just now, it's giving me double this thing here. I don't have time to start investigating it now. So let me just delete. It's not supposed to be. You can do it one by one too. Okay, now I'll go back to that full area load. Then I'll switch to Q. Remember 0.6, and then do the same thing. It's not supposed to, please. Supposed to be a single layer, but within the limit of my time now, I have to. So, but I'll ensure. Let me delete that layer too, and then okay, I'll investigate after now. So clear filter, then when you clear filter, you see this has been defined. You can see. So the next one we'll select is this one to also filter it, and then we'll go to full area load. Our G, you can start with Q, it doesn't matter, and it's by gravity. Ensure that this is by gravity. Okay, don't know why. Can always delete all this load, area load, delete, and let's repeat it. Okay, full area load. We have to go back to, okay, this is where we are. I'll say full area load, full. Please select the correct load. Is area load. Let me clear the filter. I want to be sure I'm on the right path. So we'll look for this again. Let's see which one has been loaded already. Did I delete them? Okay. We have to go over again. Okay, let me cancel this, please. And then, so that you wouldn't want to do the wrong thing. So it's better to do the right thing. So I'll come here, the G, let me go to the cladding again, 7, and then I'll right click, filter, and then I'll define my dead load or the permanent load action. Selecting double, no problem. Don't know whether there's something. Please, you always visualize the load to ensure that whatever you have defined is correct. This is one of the revolutions. Okay, so the next thing we'll select the dead load, sorry, the live load, define it 0.6, 0.6, and then go again. Don't worry, when you subscribe to the software, you don't have to do this in a hurry, the way I am doing now. And sometimes when you're in a hurry, some things can go wrong. Okay. I don't want to leave this. Select it, delete. I'm going to verify that later. Okay. I think with this, we are good to go. This is how just one. Okay. Let me calm down and do what I have to do. So we select 0.0.4. You can see now is because we are able to visualize whatever we are doing, we can now easily detect that the load assignment is not being done, that something is happening. And like I told you, I don't have the luxury to start verifying at this time. There are a lot of resources on also the YouTube to ProtaStructure's YouTube page or channel. Go there and subscribe. You'll see a lot of materials on how to do whatever I'm doing now. So it's not it's nothing special. Just subscribe. Full load, and then define. Please always be mindful of where this is the live load, and at any time you can even come back here to adjust your loading. Okay, you're giving me this ish, but no problem. Let's just delete it for now. We don't, because we need to go. We need to go. Okay, so with this, we are good to go. The next thing we do what? We click OK, and then we'll go straight to our wind load, which is automatic. You can check your setting to be sure that is on the correct code. Like the wind code I'm going to be using, let me use United Kingdom. Please select the right. So I'll go here, the load editor, do is automatic, check all this information. Let me choose 20 meters per second. And then ensure that all this is correct. I'll leave it as based on the default. Then, okay, sorry. When you apply, you see, can apply and you can also create your, it's automatic. The ProtaStructure will apply it as it's supposed to be. So the next thing we go, you can do your review, check, assuming there's a problem, a modeling error. Aha, something is happening. You can see it's telling us that column story that 218. So let's go there quickly. You see the importance of checking. There was something we didn't do right. So we'll go to this level, select these columns we defined, filter again. So like I told you, it's not a problem. Even if you didn't do it rightly at the beginning, you can always correct it. Here it's supposed to be just one because we have another column immediately. I think I didn't choose. Okay. So it's just to correct this. Okay. So the next thing there we can review. You can relabel if you want. There are other tutorial materials, resources on the YouTube. So you can move as is, assuming not close. I need to. This is just there for you to be able to do anything. You can even choose to purge any one you don't need so that you can free the memory of your computer. We'll save and we'll go back to running that check again. Do we still have any modeling error? Okay, say one, column 216. That means we didn't do everything. So one thing we can do here to avoid column 216, maybe we didn't select it. One, we're almost out of our time. So let's go back. Please ensure your model is correct before proceeding. So no error. So now we are free to go for analysis. So we'll do all our setting. We have done the wind load and story load. We've done all this. Let's take all the what we have because of the time. So now we run. We want to leave the design first, run our modeling. So now ProtaStructure 2022 does all your analysis, all those complex steel designs, do all the checks, your analysis for you, application of the loads and all that. It's completed within a very short time. Then our story drift, which you must have set before. Please, for further information on some of this, make reference to the YouTube resources. Okay, so you can also, after your analysis, you have to display the analytical model to ensure that and verify that everything you have modeled, that you don't have any modeling issue. You also verify the load applied, check the loadings in the model in each load case, check everything, the displacement, and when you are now satisfied, I want to believe that I don't want to go into all that now because of the time. When you are now satisfied, you now move to design. So we go to column design. You see, they are not designed. You just check design all. So all those your buckling, combined effect, your agia, and everything, it will do the analysis for you and then tell you which one has passed, which one has failed. And from what we can see, you can see that it's not everything that has passed here, but it's very easy. All you need to do is to come here. You know, I told you every section we selected at the beginning was just a preliminary section. So you can easily just adjust, check whatever is a problem, no, and review. For instance, it's still telling you that the combined forces is not satisfied. So we may have to increase our section. Please, you may have to be sure of whatever decision you are making here. Let's see. Now, it has passed. So with this, I won't start going one by one. When you are now sure that everything, you can even check from your review, and everything is green and you are satisfied, you go to your beam the same way, carry out your check. If it passes, fine. Those ones that did not pass, you can always just the same way. So with this, it gives you the opportunity. ProtaStructure 2022 gives you the opportunity to optimize whatever you have designed. Whatever you tell ProtaStructure to do, it will do for you. So please just be sure that whatever decision you are making here, you are in full grasp. You can see. So ensure you do all this review. We will not have time. Like this one now, the deflection is not satisfied. So I'm going to cancel it. Ensure you do all the review the same way. And then when you are now satisfied, you go to the brace design. We also check all. That's the same way. So you can see. So it's not just that you can do this, you can also even print the report, check the report to see. This is really revolution. It's a revolution. It's a real revolution which has made the job of a structural engineer much more easy. You can imagine if I'm to be doing all this thing manually. This is something I'm trying to accomplish within 1 hour, 30 minutes. So you can see, these are all your design report, and see all the buckling major, bending minor, all those your strength requirements, your considerations when you do your design for steel. Okay, now some failed there. Because of time, we can't continue. So we also have to design our purlines. This is more or less a demonstration. There are other detailed step by step, like design of steel, modeling of steel, each of those segments that you have on YouTube, a ProtaSoftware YouTube page. Just go there, subscribe from time to time. And for those of you who are subscribed, you have unlimited resources. You see, this one failed. The purline failed. So you have to change the section and then do the same way, just the same way we did the other. We may not be able to do that now. Also, your side rails, you can also select, and then it's one of the finest, best decisions you can make as a structural engineer, as a civil engineer, as an engineering firm, to invest. The job is easier with the technology, improved technology. The job is easier now. So you can easily do this. Okay. Now, good enough, all the side rails, they all pass. So go back, let's check the status of our design. So now, when you are satisfied, we still have the concrete, we still have the concrete. When you are satisfied, you can now rerun your design, and then let's do a batch. When you are satisfied that everything is now green, you can now, this one the off fill, you can also check. When you are satisfied that everything is now green, you, what do? You now go to your drawing and launch the ProtaSteel. Now the ProtaSteel does, while it's launching, the ProtaSteel does all your design connections very fast. You can do report, prepare your material estimate, and also do all your part drawing and all this. This is going to be introductory. When you go to the software, Prota software, you'll see some of this information. So you'll see a lot of tutorials there on ProtaSteel within the scope and the time limitation of this webinar. We may not be able to go into details, but this is what you have. But I am going to demonstrate something quickly, the use of IntelliConnect in doing your connection design. You select this or select a section. For instance, we can do select as, I don't want to take time here. Just select, just tell the software what to do. After you do the right connection, leave it to do all your connection design for you. I have exhausted my time, so I will not be able to go so much into details now. Like I told you, is introductory. Within the scope, we have modeled. I've shown you how to review. So you are just here, is carrying out all your connection design. And with this also, you have the opportunity to review the connections, each of them, assuming the connection does not pass. You can also review it and then do a very detailed connection report, which I am also going to show you before we conclude this session today. So now, it has done, can see all your connection design for you, which if I can also show you, it's not necessarily that this has passed, and it's not just the connection, the eve. Even when you look at, for instance, you look at our floor, you can see all our on the floor, all these connections, even the frame. And we will not stop that because of time. Let me select just a segment again and do another one. Let's do bracing. Let's say this is vertical bracing, and we'll say go ahead. Let's select another portion. So we need you all this. Your design has to meet all the requirements from your ProtaStructure before you will export it to this place to have more accurate results. You also have some list of other macros you can see. So I've done your connection for you. You can see automatic. And it's not just that. I can also, even the pour lines, you can also do automatic with different options to choose from. And you also have list of macros that can help you also. Because of time, we may not be able. You see, all your pour lines, the clips, all these are already designed for you. Just the area I selected. You can see, your clips. So this is down to your own judgment. Then you have some list of other macros. For instance, the apex, can see, which not only can you adjust this, you can also edit. You have the flexibility to adjust and change any of these materials here. You can even change, let's say, angle, then apply. So you can see. So this gives you the flexibility. Then the other thing, you can as well print your connection report, which is usually a major requirement when you are submitting your report to the government. You can see how detailed it is. Yeah, it will tell you if any member has failed, any design criteria has failed. It will show you, for instance, the both group has failed. So you will have to go back to adjust those connections. But within the time we have now, which I have even exhausted, we will not be able to do that. So you have different macros from here, beam to beam connections, to help you. You can see, like here, we can select profile. Sorry, our base. Go to a base place, sorry. Yeah, can see, which you can also adjust. Connection is not an easy thing to do. So for Prota to have made it very easy for you, what are you waiting for? So you have all this, even your truss connection, your truss connection, you can do all that detailing just the same way, your plate, your handrails, other miscellaneous, your boat. What we have now, you can come here, select this to insert you have other user. You can also create your own user macro. So with this, I want to end this class here. Like I told you, this is just introductory. You have where you can edit, even show whether how you can check whether whatever you have done has passed or not. If it's red, that means it hasn't passed. For instance, here, what we have here is green, means it has passed. You have color coding and all this. Please refer to the YouTube page where you can have all this. And also check whether there are clashes, do audit. You can as well interface with other, you can import from ProtaStructure, you can export to Tekla. So do your part numbering, can do your part automatic part numbering to create your drawing. You can also do your assembly drawing and do all of that. So this is how I'm going to end my section. So please, as a structural engineer or engineering firm, one smart decision you can make today is to invest in ProtaStructure Suite 2022, the one for full modeling, analysis, design detailing, component design, drafting, fabrication, and BIM. So thank you.